This project is about designing for a future self. We thought it could be interesting. We are getting older and older, so we thought it could be interesting to try and see, can we still use the same good old chairs, but with smaller adjustments, and then use them when we are getting older. So we asked the students to try and look at this very, very beautiful iconic chair, the J39, designed by Børge Mogensen in 1947. And I mean, still after almost 75 years, this works as a very good chair. So it could be twofold, you could say. It's, first of all, it's designing for your future self, but it's also about getting to know this chair and really getting close to that chair, to feel its dimensions and to understand its proportions and ergonomics and so on. And by doing that, also have this discussion about authenticity. How far can you get away from the original chair and still keep sort of the atmosphere and the feeling about it? We started out by visiting our collection, our chair collection. We have a fantastic collection of chairs here at the Royal Danish Academy. And we started to discuss this idea of type, working with the type, from the Latin slapback chair over Kåre Klint's church chair and then to Børge Mogensen's J39. But also looking at Jasper Morrison's version, or sort of updated version of the chair from 2007, and trying to discuss the relations and how you can sort of change working with a type, but changing it slightly over years, adapted to new uses and new production techniques and so on.
What we just have been doing are trying to simulate some of the constrictions that you might experience as an elderly person in regards to the bodily constrictions. You know, you might have arthritis, you might have bad knees, you might be overweight and all these things, and trying to simulate them while interacting with a piece of furniture, in this case the Børge Mogensen chair, and thus trying to find ways to redesign that chair to include the people that are challenged in their movement. We did that by putting on these suits that are weighted and that are constricting your joints on your knees and on your elbows, thus trying to, as I said, simulate these circumstances.
But also to do an interview or several interviews with older people and ask them about their habits and how they use a chair, how they get in and out of it, and how it works next to a table and so on.
Så det er en god gammeldags spisebordstol. Den har holdt i... Hvor længe har du haft de stolene?
And after that, the students had one chair each, one of those J39 chairs each, and they were working in groups, discussing the chair, trying the chair, starting to sketching and see what was possible, to what kind of changes they should make, and also, you know, trying to use the information they got from both the interviews and from the experience they had with their own bodies, but also the experiences they had from using the simulation suits. And then some of the students went to the workshop and made small adaptations, you know, tried to hire the chairs a little bit, sit in them and so on. So it's sort of, the workshop is only 8 days, but it's sort of slowly progressing and having a dialogue between using your body, discussing the chair, discussing the proportions, the dimensions, and going to the workshop, testing it out, coming back and having discussions back and forth. So we actually have these 3 ways of investigating the chair.
We kind of softened the point in the front of the chair, so it's easier to slide your leg over and softer there. And then we added this backrest behind on the backrest, and made it more comfortable for your hand when you push up when you get up. And that's something that we learned when we were discussing the chair with an older person. The other chair, we extended the legs a little bit because it's actually quite a low chair. And then we kind of made it about 2.5 centimeters taller. And we rounded the bottom to so that it slides better on the floor when you get up from the chair and when you pull it out from under the table.
First, I took my chair to my granddad, to see how it was for an elderly to sit in this chair. And when I did that, I saw that you're sitting really upright, and that's not so nice when you're old because you have to sit longer time. So it's nice to be able to lean a little back. One of the things I have done is to bend the back of the chair so it has a wider angle, so you sit more nicely. And also I have introduced another seat that's made out of wood. Also because when he was standing up, he used his hand on this nut here. I made a seat that goes all the way up to this nut. And so it's easier for him to get up, and also it sits more nicely. It's not so narrow in the sides.
Yeah, we have chosen to make the chair a bit wider in the front, because the lady we talked to, she liked wider chairs because they're not they don't have a tendency to tip over as much, and she also liked the width. And then we also chose to extend the front legs of the chair to make 2 points where you could support yourself when you need to get up. And the extended poles, they also make it easier to get the chair in under the table, because you can use them to push the chair, and they're made just short enough to get in under the table.
Redesign is a matter by which to correct and renew our feelings about essence of design, hidden within the fascinating environment of an object that is so overly familiar to us that we can no longer see it. So following this concept, we're looking at this iconic Danish chair J39, learning from the history of the design and projecting ourselves or the student themselves for the future. That's hopefully lead into this inclusive furniture which aims for.